Do it yourself, go kart. Do it yourself, go kart. Do it yourself, go kart. It's the one-stop shop for installing kart parts.
Hello and welcome to DIY Golf Cart. In today's video tutorial, we'll be installing a headlight and taillight kit on a Club Car DS. Now the light kit that we carry fits model years 1993 and above. Before starting anything with the light, you want to take everything out of the kit, and then you'll see some templates that are inside. What you want to do is cut out the inside holes of these templates. So make sure that's cut out, and then of course for the rear, you'll have to cut out the inside as well. Now we'll start with the video. Okay, the first step, once we have the template cut out, if you notice that the side that's larger will be on the outside, so whenever we're performing this task to the other side, we'll just have to flip the template over. But what we need is a marker, and then you can see the contours of the body line here, and then the contour of the line at the bottom. So we'll line this line up in our template a little bit off of the top line, and then line the bottom line up almost like exactly with the bottom part of the cow. Once we have that, we'll just stretch the template across like so, grab our marker, and mark out the holes that need to be cut. Now that we have the hole on this side, we'll start with this side and I'll show you how to cut this thing out. For our next step, we're going to want to use protective eyewear and grab a Dremel tool. Now the line that we drew, we're just going to puncture in. And run the Dremel all the way around the body. Knock the hole out like so. Once we get the hole drilled out of the front cowl, our next step will be to grab the light, place it into the cowl, and then grab one of the screws provided and run it through. We'll do this on all four holes and then move on to the other side. Okay, once we've got this light done, then we'll just flip the template over and do the same to the other side. Okay, once we've installed the front lights, our next step is to move to the rear. I've already cut out the inside of this template, and what we'll do is we'll place it with these lines contouring to the body. Like right there. We'll grab a marker. Now it might be easier to tape this template down, but for the meantime we're just going to trace out exactly where we need to cut. Now that we have that mark, we'll just flip the template over and do the same to the other side. Our next step, we'll take our Dremel and cut out the hole. Once we get this side cut out, we'll do the same to the other side. Our next step, we're going to make sure the key's in the off position. And then with a small flathead screwdriver, we're going to take these buttons off on both sides. Then we'll unscrew the screws. pull the panel directly off. Now that the panel is pulled back, this just needs to be accessed so that whenever we put the push-pull switch for the lights in, we can run it through, and then we can just slap the panel back on. All right, once we got the control panel raised, we're going to locate the wiring harness side that has the push-pull switch on it, and we're going to throw that push-pull switch up there next to the control panel. From there, we're going to take one of the sides of the wiring harness and connect it to the passenger side, and also connect the blinker wire. We'll do the same to the driver's side. And for now, we're just going to leave that like that. We're going to run the wiring harness, and then once we've got everything hooked up, then we'll zip tie all the wires. Now that we've fed the push-pull switch up to the control panel here, now we're going to take a 1/2-inch drill bit and drill a hole in the control panel for the push-pull switch to go through. Now that we got that hole drilled, we'll take the knob off, run this around the back side to the hole. Actually, looks like we need to drill out this hole a little bit more. There we go, there's just some extra debris on there. Grab the push-pull switch, push it through the hole. You might need to adjust this nut on the back side. We'll run the lock washer and the nut right through like so. Now you might want to take some pliers and tighten that nut. Once you've got that nut tight, you just take the knob and put it on. And then we can place everything back on the cart. So we'll just pop that up underneath there and then put the screws in the side. Okay, now that we got the push-pull switch installed into the control panel, we'll take the end of our wiring harness and we're going to run it directly the way that the factory wiring harness is ran. So just right up underneath the frame here, pull all your wires through, just like so. And then we'll go underneath and show you the next step. Okay, once we've got the harness ran through here, these adapters won't fit through the hole that the factory wiring harness is ran through. So we're just going to have to bypass that hole and then go directly up underneath the golf cart right here. And we'll be able to put zip ties around to hold up all these wires. Alright, next is just to go up underneath the golf cart. Once we've got the wires ran underneath the golf cart, we're going to just unhinge the seat, set it off to the side, and then locate where we ran this wiring harness, which is right here. So we'll pull these wires up. And if you notice on this harness, there's a negative and positive lead that will tie in directly with your battery pack. And then there's the rest of the wiring harness that's going to run to your tail lights. So first we're going to run the tail lights, and then we'll hook up the wiring for the battery itself. So in order to run these tail lights, what you're going to do is you're going to push this all the way through to the passenger side. Now there's a lot of slack in this wire, so you'll be able to tie it up anywhere up to the frame of the golf cart, but just run those back where the lights are, and then we'll have to get back underneath the car again and hook the lights up. All right, now that we have the wiring harness ran to the rear tail lights, our next step will be to just hook them up. So we'll hook that up, then we'll place the light in the hole, and then run the screws provided into the body. Now we'll just do the same to the other side. It's very simple. All right, before we zip tie everything to get, throughout the cart, we're first going to want to check to make sure that our lights work. So we'll grab 2 1/2-inch wrenches. And we're hooking this up to a gas cart. You could do the same with the electric, but you need to check out our video on how to install a voltage reducer, because you'll need that on an electric model. So we'll take our negative, which would be the white wire, run it through, put the nut on, tighten it down, and then we'll throw the positive one on. Oops. Loosen it. It's a little harder working with gloves. So we'll put the nut on, tighten it down, and now our light should work. And that completes our install of a light kit. Now, like I said, you're going to want to tie up the wires that you ran up underneath the undercarriage with the zip ties we have provided in the kit. But this is a look at the front of the cart, with the lights on and off. And this is a look from the rear of the cart.